Are the bears done wiking off all over us? Have we entered a new bullish phase? Is crypto crashing to the bottom? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Thanks for stopping in. Welcome all my crypto profiteers, one for all and all for one. I hope you all are doing quite well. It's been a hell of a day. It's been super hot where I'm at, and thought I'd have to jump on here since we got a lot going on. Keep in mind, it's Friday. Historically, Friday is the bearish day of the week. This is from 23 hours ago. Dip buyers anticipate further downside after the Bitcoin price falls to 38K. And sure enough, we have had something terrible just happen, or something in the charts right here that we're going to take a look at. And it's basically a bearish cross, guys. Not the best thing in the world. There's my little bearish cross. Pac-Man eater going to eat in all these candles. But yeah, not looking good. We started getting a lot of bullish news a few days ago, and it looked like they were indeed going to try to pump this price up. You know, Cointelegraph and the big guys, they don't work for you. Just keep that in mind at all times. And we started getting all this bullish news, just a ridiculous amount. You know, the MicroStrategy and the billionaire investor Paul Tudor Jones plans to up his Bitcoin price, his Bitcoin to 5% instead of 2%. I mean, Bitcoin probably paced in such a way that it's already at 5%. He doesn't even have to buy anymore. And it was just a whole bunch of bullish news after bullish news, and green-centered, and then it started going the other direction. Here's something from Plan B really quick, though, I think is pretty good, just to confirm both my S2X model and on-chain signal point towards a second run in this bull market. So he's saying we've about bottomed out here. One other thing I'm going to point out very quick is Awesome Oscillator has been pointing out for quite some time, even when the bears are like, you know, Crypto Dog is pretty bullish. Usually, frankly, it looks good. I think we put in a higher low and keep trending back up. And he was thinking that we're going to keep climbing back up here and not break past this heavy volume there. And I could see what he's thinking. Awesome Oscillator stepped in and says, the last dip has started. Be prepared to see a spike buy real soon, very soon, down to 22.4K. After that, you will never see these levels again. I think there is one more final dip coming, after which 100K ride will be smooth. And my guess is going to happen very soon, fast. Dip, spike, and then up, and he's thinking in a few months that we will be back into all-time highs, which would be pretty great, right? So he's thinking that it's going to drop down here into its final buy zone, and the final formation of the Wyckoff, right? So another TA guy I like had drawn this phase breakout, phase C, phase D, and he's thinking we are close to a breakout here, which would probably give us one more drop. He's thinking that we are in this phase here, phase D, and possible looking for this breakout here. We will certainly see if that's the case. Coming back to the fundamentals, this is the worst chart of all time. This is the reason we're running into Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up historically, while the dollar's purchasing power consistently and always goes down. So, you know, you compare that against the Plan B stock to flow model, and you'll understand Mark Cuban got DeFi rug pulled. Read a whole bunch about that. It's very interesting. It wasn't really a rug pull. It was a bank run, which is a whole different scenario. It's basically their stable coin unpegged because of a bunch of manipulation, and then people, you know, utilized the system the way it was and all the guarantees, which were supposed to keep things in place, but smart DeFi people basically found a way to, you know, when things crash in a certain way. I was thinking about we'd get back into that a little later. One thing I want to show you to bring us back to the macro trend. If the market is manipulated, and I believe it clearly is, so do I, then drawing lines and triangles on charts for short-term trades put you at the mercy of manipulators. Yes, it does. If you hold high-quality crypto and have a longer time horizon, the market manipulators have no power over you. I will agree, if you bought, you know, crypto anywhere in the early runs, Bitcoin or Ethereum, you are certainly very much in profit. I still have a lot of Ethereum. I bought at $200, so Yeah, gotta agree with that. I doubt the market will take it down that far, will it? Bill to make Bitcoin legal tender passes in El Salvador, and I think it's great. And then another thing that happened was the El Salvadorian president stuck his hand out to the IMF, which I think it's funny. It's like a slap in the face, but at the same time, it's just classic. Anyway, he reaches out to the IMF and says, "We would appreciate it if you guys would help us, help our country in this time of need, and help us transition to Bitcoin." And he asked the IMF to help him for that. Now that's funny to me. That obviously they said no, and they laughed at him, and yeah, that's happened. So another thing that happened was School Bitcoin OG went and talked to the El Salvadorian president. He wore a Metallica t-shirt with holes in the bottom of the jeans. My friend Master K says, epic. And yeah, I thought it was pretty epic too. So one other thing I'm going to show you, which is the other side of the coin, right? So we have this bear cross that's happened, and historically, bear crosses mean this is on the day chart. Bear crosses on the day chart generally mean we're entering in a downtrend, especially if it is coming with any momentum. See this 50? This is a 50 right here. 50-day moving average. Here you have your 100-day moving average and your 200-day moving average. This 50 and this 100 can cross each other all the time. No one cares. But when this 50 crosses this 200 right there, that's a death cross. Vice versa is the other way. When it pops up from underneath here, that will be a golden cross. That's historically very, very bullish. This is normally a very great place to short. And when it crosses, it's a very great place to... on the other side of the coin is right here. This is the BTC shorts. Now, what we know is, like, you know how they short squeeze those people with GameStops? I'm sure, like, if you saw my video, I explained it in deep detail how that works. But basically, you could short squeeze all of these people here. See this? This is all the shorts on Bitcoin, and it was above all these lines when I looked at this earlier today. Quite a bit, as a matter of fact. I wasn't in this group that I dropped that chart. It was in another group. No, it was right there. See, before earlier today, it was above every single moving average we got, right? But now it's right here. It just dropped through, but, you know, it's still above most every other moving average. But what this is, I mean, look at these levels from down here to high to low to back up here. We're on the 4-hour chart now. Barely break it down. What this is all the people who have shorts in here, right? So you could trade that as a, as a chart. And I don't trade that chart because I don't have access to it on Bitfinex. But if you do have Bitfinex, then you can trade the USBT shorts, and you're basically trading all the shorts on the market and trading against them. And, it's an algorithmic kind of toxic waste derivative. But basically what this does is, as it's, as these shorts get way high, like any exchange with a lot of money, any big banksters with a lot of money, like they see this. Remember, they trade looking at the money on the other side of the table and how they could take it. This right here says there is a lot of money to take just by short squeezing these people with a price rise. Just throwing that out there. However, the trend does look bullish, and it does look like Awesome Oscillator is probably onto something with this here, which I don't know about flashing down to here, but he's thinking it's going to wick here, bam, bam, back up. We'll see. This could easily, there's definitely, some serious accumulation and serious pent-up energy going on here, and loads of interesting things at the moment, right? Love it. And a drop of bullish news, always good to back up and zoom out and accumulate, right? Zoom out and DCA. Anyway, this is from Michael Saylor. The increase in the number of publicly traded Bitcoin miners and their migration to U.S.-based stock exchanges is indicative of the broader institutional adoption of Bitcoin and enthusiasm for the proof-of-work mining business model. And this is from Bitfarms. Bitfarms to commence trading on NASDAQ on June 21st. It's pretty damn bullish. Pretty damn bullish. Quick stop by CoinEx at my AMM account. I know a lot of people are not big long-term believers in crypto. And certainly 95% of these projects that are out here are complete garbage or fake or whatever. I do think there is a lot of great projects and a lot of great innovations going on, and as long as you're in the blue chips, you're in those best projects, I think that the action of just accumulating has been proven over time that is what makes you rich, right? This whole thing with like this huge drop, you can look at it as devastation, or you can look at it as a chance to whale up, because those whales, they're buying, they're accumulating massive amounts of Bitcoin. You think that who's giving up their Bitcoin? It's said that 80% of all Bitcoin is going to be owned by whales, governments, institutions. But right now that Bitcoin is in the hands of people. So they have to take it from you. Are you going to give up your Bitcoin? Are you going to give them your Ethereum? Are you going to give them your DOT? I'm not. For me, I'm not capitulating no matter what. I sat through the last multiple bear markets already. To me, this is nothing. But what happens is they keep bringing in new people, right? New people accumulate a bunch, and then they got weak hands. The government can easily, the powers that be, the whales, they can easily shake those people out. And we proved with this last dip that it's not the big wallets selling. None of the big wallets are selling. None of the big wallets are selling. Michael Saylor is buying. He's a multi-millionaire. Where do you want to be? Do you want to follow all the brand new people who came in? Because the people who dumped in this last thing, they were new holders. And then, of course, people getting liquidated and getting, that always causes a huge problem. Because liquidating, people aren't selling the Bitcoin, right? So what happens when something liquidates? If your price gets liquidated, like it did in the last big crash, what happened is the shorts, all the people who were longing got liquidated. What that meant is they had a bunch of Bitcoin on their accounts as margin. The price flash crashed down, so they all got stopped out. No one actually went and sold their Bitcoin, right? What happens, they had all this Bitcoin in margin that the exchanges force sold you, because that's the margin requirements. And that's how those people sold their Bitcoin at 30 grand. No one really sold. It was them forcing people to sell through their margin calls. I hope that makes sense, that people weren't actually selling Bitcoin at the lowest prices. What you had is your weak hands selling just above those prices to clear out those longs, right? And once those longs got cleared out and they got liquidated, the price was already lower than that. So then all that was left to sell, no one was actually selling, was people's margin. People's margin got liquidated at a Bitcoin price, because their margin is in Bitcoin generally, at like 30 grand, right? They're all pissed. I need some tight stops. And a lot of times if it wicks down and you get margined out, your stop just got bypassed. So, things happen. So what I'm saying is, accumulation right now, that's where I'm at. The death cross, if that continues to play out through the rest of the week, might be tempted to sell and buy back in a little lower, but all with the plans of buying more and more. I don't recommend newbies do that. I recommend you back up, you wait for the dip, and you put in a little fresh capital to purchase that. But, none of this is financial advice. We have a chance to make seriously great life-changing money in the next few months by accumulating now and letting this market go up if you believe in Bitcoin. If you don't, well then, this might not actually be the place for you, because you do have to have like some confidence in the underlying assets in order to sleep at night. So there's all of that. So one thing I want to remind you of is that when the way this whole market works, right? We got to look at the bigger market, right? What really shook the market? It shook the market when the Fed president came out and said that they're going to raise interest rates. They're not, by the way. They are not going to raise interest rates. You can freaking, I put $10,000 on it. They're not raising the interest rates. It's not going to happen. You can't taper a Ponzi scheme. That's not the way it works. They just say that in order to spook the market or create fear in the market. And you notice that they'll come out and talk out of both sides of their mouth, right? They have one Fed chair president saying something good over here, and another Fed guy saying something negative over there, saying basically the opposite, the same way they issue debt through one door and then sell debt through the other door on a constant to keep the money velocity look like it's going, but it's not going anywhere. It's a great big manipulation. But what I want you to realize is that the bigger market always affects us. We're correlated until we're not, right? You can't help but be correlated because we're all money, right? Money is money, and money moves the way money moves. And that's what the Dixie, that's what it's all about. So Dixie basically shows the strength of the dollar. When that's going down and crude oil is going up and the 10-year yield is stable, crypto prices go up. Bitcoin goes up. That's how it works. If crude oil is going up, the dollar is going down, and the 10-year yield is stable, the crypto markets go up. That's just a compensatory mechanism. That's the way it works. Anyway, look at my little stuff I've been getting. Today I had a really good day at ARRR. I got 89.8% daily APY, and that got me $11, which is a whole 1.3 R and 0001 Bitcoin. Nice. So my liquidity now, I'm up to 688 R. I love it. I'm actually going to try to get more. I'm a huge believer in R. I really like privacy-based things, and I will say that they're, when the powers that be kind of finally tries to like sink their teeth into things, and all coins that are trackable are going to be, through data analytics, they just show you, send up with a tax bill. Here's all the Bitcoin transactions you made. When you're in privacy coins, especially one as badass as R, that's not really something you have to worry about near as much now, is it? So let's head over and this little bullish news. Although Denmark's largest bank has some doubts about crypto, it publicly said it wouldn't interfere with customers who want to use crypto exchanges. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of good stuff happening today. Those guys are always just on fire. What was it I was looking to show you? Pirate Chain is a community-funded project. The project also received some donations from the Komodo notary nodes and a small percentage of mining pool fees. These funds are used towards development, support, and community bounties. Pirate Chain. Delayed proof of work notarizes the transactions made on Pirate first on the Komodo and then on the Litecoin blockchains. Because remember, Pirate tied into the Litecoin blockchain. This makes Pirate more secure than any other proof of work chain by being resistant to 51% attacks. Another factor making it special compared to others. And I agree, it is super special. And I am trying to buy as much as I can. They got some big things coming where the wallets are going to be updated. Batch transactions are going to be enabled. At that point, once batch transactions are enabled, this will see a lot more exchanges. And I find that pretty cool. A lot of exchanges won't touch a crypto that doesn't do batch. They doesn't let them, batch withdrawals and all that good stuff, as you probably are aware. Anyway, suppose you were a talentless hack that had nothing more than people following you, or the fact that you were glamorous was all you had going for you, was the only thing you had. And you saw Elon Musk, he was over there, he's like, all he's got to do is drop a tweet and the crypto world goes crazy. And man, it's just like, this guy has all this effect and he's so wonderful. How do I get some of this power? Kim Kardashian shills Ethereum Max on Instagram. Media questions the socialite's motives. Well, what motives do you think she was having? She's kind of, her whole everything, right, about who she is has to do with popularity. And so what happens when your popularity doesn't work for you? Here's what's funny is she tries to pump ETH Max, right? Kardashian's Instagram post, which clearly notes it is an ad, said, "Are you guys into crypto? This is not financial advice, but sharing what my friends just told me about Ethereum Max token. A few minutes ago, Ethereum Max burned 400 trillion tokens." Do you think she even knows what that means? Literally 50% of their admin wallet. Do you think she even knows what an admin wallet is? Giving back to the entire eMax community. Swipe up to enjoy the Ethereum Max community. Yes, she did say it was an ad, but pretty funny. So let's go take a look at old Ethereum Max and find out a little bit about it, shall we? So if we head over to CoinMarketCap, take a look at ETH Max is sitting at 0.0000016 cents, and it has a circulating supply of no one knows. It doesn't say. There is no circulating supply. There's no total supply, and the price did nothing. You tweeted out your very first crypto tweet ever, and nothing happened. Not a thing. That happened. You would have expected at least some sort of pump, right? That's a 7-day. Let's go to the 1 day. Did she even have an effect on it even? That must be where she dropped the tweet, the pump, and then the people who paid her to do it they sold and it dumped. That's about the only thing that I could think of. Oh, man, it must be terrible if your whole life's a popularity contest and you couldn't even move the price of a shit coin up, like, at all. Like, you had very, very, very little effect. Here's the ETH Max website. It's basically like a safe moon, you know. It's there for the sake to be there and to earn money. And there's the effect that she had was probably from there to there, and then the whales all got out. But yeah, you're no Elon. You have no effect. And, you know, Elon is smart enough to tweet right, you know, any of us who are steadily watching the charts, you know, Elon doesn't tweet unless it's like at a serious consolidation point at the very end of some sort of wedge or some sort of triangle or some sort of pattern, and it's ready to pop one way or the other. And there's like all these, you know, technicals going on and fundamentals going on, and then he comes out and drops his tweet perfectly placed. Kim Kardashian, not near so effective. Now, one thing that I have been DCAing into is ORN. ORN has been extremely, extremely undervalued. I mean, just not long ago, this coin was up around $20, $19, $18, hanging out in there a lot. It made it up to $24. Wasn't there for long. Spent a little bit of time, you know, up there in the upper 20s, but spent a lot of time here in the 18s, 19s, 16s. And then when the whole shebang happened and everyone crashed, we got all the way down to $6. And it kind of rocked between $6 and $8 over and over. That is extremely, extremely undervalued in my opinion. There is only 25 million ORN, and there will only ever be 100 million ORN. And so the circulating supply is small. There's a lot going on. Katana has had some serious price movements up and down, and when Katana first kind of launched, it seemed like it sucked some of the juice out of the Orion protocol because they are basically going for the same audience. But this Orion team does nothing but work, and I like that quite a bit. So I was DCing in around 6, 8, picked up some at 7, and don't have a lot, but got about, you know, $500-600 worth. I would like to get, which I was trying to get quite a bit more before it went up. Wanted to get at least a $2,000 bag while it was still down in the 6, 7, and 8s. But, you know, might have another dip and I might be able to pick up a bit more. And I would recommend waiting for a dip to pick up since it did just bump. But they've just had a lot going on. And basically, you know, they recently integrated all of Binance's order books into the Orion protocol, which is pretty crazy. And they've had a lot going on. Orion is the first to enable decentralized access to centralized exchanges, swap pools in one platform, and all orders routed via the liquidity source with the best price. Also, Cody is providing unlimited liquidity to the Orion protocol. I mean, not that it needs it, but like they have so much liquidity, it's crazy. An arbitrage SDK will be live with the Orion pool to allow traders to easily configure ARB bots. So because this is going to be doing decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges, these arbitraging bots that people will build on this will be able to like balance out liquidity protocols like Frax, like the BUSD pools, all these different ones where it's like algorithm based stable coins. Like the Orion protocol with our bots will really help facilitate the entire market to bring prices back to a parity quicker. So the way a lot of these different algorithm based like Frax or these different ones, algorithm based stable coins, there's a whole bunch of them, but anyway, the way they kind of work is like there's an incentive for people to come in, right? They'll have like basically two tokens, an insurance token or the regular token, and then the stable coin. And they will use the, and sometimes they have a third coin, like another dollar. So basically what they'll do is they'll like, when the stable coin depreciates in value from $1, right? It goes down to like 90 cents. It increases the price of the insurance protocol or of the other token, right? Of the other coin that's on the other side of this, on the other side of this algorithm. And so using these two coins together, basically what will happen, they want to keep one at $1. That's what matters, is keeping something at a stable coin. So you fluctuate the price of the other coin, it will increase in value, right? So, but you can always sell it back for $1. But once, so if you can purchase all of these stable coins for a lot less than $1 and then use the insurance coin or the coin on the other side of the trade, it will basically double in value. And it basically gives people incentive to arbitrage until the price is back at $1. My whole point is there's a lot of those different algorithm-based stable coins out there, and you'll be able to set up arbitraging bots through the Orion protocol that people are going to, are we going to be able to get in on those bots? Probably not, but we will be able to buy the Orion token, and the people will have to use that in order to make all of this happen. It'll provide a whole bunch more, mileage and people coming into the Orion, situation. Anyway, moving on. At the core of Orion Pool, LPs provide liquidity starting with ORN ETH, ORN USD, ORN BUSD, and ORN BNB. Governance stakers vote on the pools to receive high rewards. On top of staking rewards, pool fees will be shared back to stakers. So, another benefit. What's next? Orion will still be integrating Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap. Next month, any project will be able to self-list their token on the Orion pool with a significant number of projects lined up. Stay tuned for much more to come this week. This is getting big, and these guys are doing a lot more stuff, and it's pretty crazy. There is one more update on this I wanted to show you over here, and it's this one here. Uno with the Uno token. Basically, what is really interesting about Uno Ray is they're like reinsurance, right? So like in the bigger market out there, in the bigger world, insurance companies also have insurance companies, and these companies will be basically big giant liquidity providers, and basically they win just like the insurance companies win because most people don't use their insurance, right? So that's how insurance works. Insurance always has some losing trades. It works a lot like a casino works. It's based on probabilities, right? So what Uno Rays does is it allows these reinsurance pools to be traded, tokenized and traded back and forth. And it's very interesting. And there is, I'm actually looking forward to getting into it, and I'll probably be doing a full review on Uno Ray and actually trying to get involved with some of the insurance pools and trading them. But Uno Ray is going to integrate all of their insurance pools into the Orion protocol. So you will be able to trade not only the Uno Ray token, but also trade all of their insurance risk pools through this Orion protocol. So I think it's very, very interesting. I really want to take up a good position in Uno Ray. It's down right now, and I'm looking forward to doing that. So I know whenever I talk about crypto prices and all that, and being, kind of a perma bull, and yes, I err on the bullish side of things generally. We talk about inflation a lot because inflation is so important that it's ridiculous, as we're basically, a lot of people get into crypto because of that hard money Austrian, economics school, right? That you take care of the money first, and you don't inflate things, you don't create money out of thin air, you don't mess with your money supply, you hard fix money, and it fixes a lot of the problems within your financial structure. So with inflation being what it is and being, crazy off the hooks and hidden, we know that the prices of things in general are going to go up. Everything starts with crude oil, and as crude goes up, it spills over into other assets, and other assets goes up. But JP Morgan says it's stockpiling clash because it claims that there's a very good chance inflation will be more than transitory, meaning inflation is here to stay. The Warren Buffett indicator came out this week and says that we are in a hyper bubble as far as the standard market goes. And so, eventually the market is going to tank and everyone's going to be screwed. And by everyone, I mean those people having 401ks, which when the whole thing crashes and tanks, that will be one of the greatest transfers of wealth to the 0.001% ever. And as the market crashes, all those people's 401k, just like what happened in 2008, it'll disappear. And that money will be transferred to someone else. You're like, well, how does that work? How does money just get transferred to someone else? The big people who know it's coming before it's coming, like you see all of these, the people in Congress, the way they get rich, right? They're allowed to do insider trading. And so they get inside stock tips and they buy and sell way before by the rumor. And then when the news happens, they're already there. They've already sold, right? And that happens over and over. And of course, it's a conflict of interest. Those people should not be in office, should not be allowed to make trades. They should not be allowed to do any of that. But that's not reality. That's just the way the system works. So the way that money gets transferred is the people who are in the know ahead of time, who have already sold, they will short the market as it's going down. And all that money in people's 401ks will vanish, and it will all magically appear in the accounts of the people who knew what was going on, right? Who basically made it happen. So with Warren Buffett's indicator saying that the market's in a super bubble, we know that. But we know the Fed is going to continue to print money. They are inflating out out of their asses. So the play at the moment has to be out of cash into assets, at least for the short term. Even if you're in the market, even if you're in here trading this stuff, this is where the place to be. This is where the money's going to be made. You don't go where the money isn't. And if cash is being depreciated, over and over through this inflationary process, well, it only makes sense that you want to be in something that is deflationary. Anyway, this is just rambling on now at this point, so I'll let you guys go and catch you on the next one. Crypto Music, hope you're having a great day, and I'm out.